The National Highways has launched a major investigation into one of the deadliest kinds of motorway crashes. It is like something out of a horror film, something like out of the Final Destination films almost in a sense. No, I'm not referring to logs falling off the back of a trailer. That doesn't really happen in the UK. When do you ever see loads of logs, loads of trees just on the motorway, on the back of a lorry? That doesn't really happen here, does it? Which I think is a good sign, really. Don't go chopping down the trees. That's never a good idea, in my opinion. But environmentalism to one side, let's talk about self-preservation, because if you're trying to survive an accident, one of the toughest to survive is very much if you slam into the back of a HGV, a large haulage vehicle here in the UK. Just because of the very nature of the crash as well, and if you're on a motorway, it's one that's typically at very high speed as well. But why is this such a common problem, and why is it so deadly? Let's get into all the reasons why here on the motoringchronicle.com, and also outline why doing something about this is massively overdue. So one of the reasons why this maintains its place as one of the most deadly and dangerous accidents on UK motorways, UK roads in general, of course, as well, is because the automatic crash prevention systems in a lot of modern cars, the ADAS systems in cars, they don't actually work when it comes to the back of lorries. Now, if you've got an older car, this doesn't apply to you. This is only for people with a relatively new car, a car that's been made probably in the last 10 years or so, certainly in the last 5 years or so. You will have some form of this. Basically, it's a system that scans the road ahead of you, and if there is something there, like a vehicle or a person or any kind of big object that could obstruct you, could cause another accident, and you're going towards it at a rate of knots that is deemed to be dangerous, the brakes will apply automatically. Now, these systems are not perfect. We've spoken about them many times here on the channel. My car, I love my Kia. Car-HGV is a fantastic vehicle, love it to bits, but I will happily admit that she's a bit drunk sometimes when it comes to, or maybe high, as when it comes to the accident prevention system, because sometimes it will detect there's a problem when there isn't one. Now, thankfully, I've never experienced it the other way around, touch wood. Not had an accident in that car, don't want to change that anytime soon. So I can't speak for any times where it's not prevented an accident that would have happened because, I've never been in that situation really, to be honest, thankfully, in this vehicle anyway. But when it comes to detecting things that aren't there, little things that trick the system out, it is kind of worrying. Also, you can get situations as well when the ADAS system doesn't work correctly. Usually this is in heavy snow conditions and you've got a lot of snow on the hood of the car, and therefore the accident prevention system doesn't work anymore. Although you shouldn't go driving with loads of snow in your vehicle. It's rather difficult sometimes in really bad winter weather, but that's a very rare case, especially in most of the UK these days. I mean, look at the heat wave we've just had. We're not going to have a problem when it comes to any kind of bad winters going off this anytime soon. Although it is summer as well, so, literally it is summer, so we're not going to have that problem for a while yet. But yeah, these ADAS systems don't actually work when it comes to the back of these lorries. For whatever reason, the scanner just doesn't seem to pick up that it's a problem. And that's all research that's been found out and all findings that's been found out when it comes to this National Highways test that's been going on. And of course, you shouldn't have to rely on the ADAS systems to be safe. However, these systems are there for a reason. In some ways, they are better than humans when it comes to detecting danger and, of course, acting upon it as well. Pressing on the brakes as hard as possible, doing an emergency stop. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong. And like I said, you shouldn't be relying on it. But it is, in some circumstances, able to actually prevent these accidents. But in some circumstances, like, of course, if you're behind a lorry and there's a big trailer there, you're going to be in trouble potentially if you can't react and save yourself. The technology, in a lot of cases, is not up to scratch. And the stats do show that this is a big problem. HGVs, large lorries to me and you, they make up around 10% of the total traffic on UK roads. However, they are involved in around 20% of serious injury or fatal accidents. And a lot of people very lazily blame the lorry drivers. Sure, there's some terrible lorry drivers out there for sure. There's some that absolutely are cretins and should be taken off the road. They should not be piloting such a large and dangerous vehicle. But the vast majority of lorry drivers are really good. They have to go through extensive training to be able to do that. There is a reason why they are paid so much money. It is a very high paying paying job, and so it should be. It's a difficult job, it's an important job, and it's also one as well that has a lot of consequences in terms of keeping people safe on the roads. A common way in which other vehicles are to blame when it comes to accidents involving HGVs is just basically assuming that the stopping distance of the HGV is around the same as what a van is or what a large car is, like an SUV, and that just isn't the case. Basic Newtonian physics will tell you that the more something weighs, the more momentum it has, and therefore the more force is required to stop it. Yeah, these vehicles do have big, powerful brakes, but it doesn't make up for it. The stopping distances of these vehicles are much longer. There is a reason why they are limited to a lower speed limit on the motorway, partly because of those stopping distances. That's how the motorway speed limits were originally devised in the first place. They were set to 70 miles an hour for regular vehicles like cars and vans, just because of the stopping distances. Now, of course, there is an argument to say that stopping distances for vehicles has gone down a lot, therefore we should have the speed limit being higher. That's a separate discussion I've already had here on the channel. If you want to go check out my video on that, you can do. But the TLDW for that is that I think we should trial 80 miles an hour on a relatively calm bit of motorway just to see how it goes. If there are more deadly accidents, if people are getting hurt more often, then all right, we'll stick to 70, but at least then we know. Anyway, that was a tangent. Let's get back to this. Of those 20% of all accidents that involve HGVs, 40% of these were involving cars slamming into the back of HGVs. And there are a number of different reasons, I believe, why there are so many accidents when it comes to this. It's not just the ADAS system, but it's also the lack of visibility as well. And to be honest, again, this is the car driver's fault here, or the other driver, I should say, in this circumstance. Because they'll get too close, their visibility will be compromised, and therefore when the lorry eventually slows down for whatever reason, they slam into the back of it. But when they do slam into the back of it, it's a nasty, nasty crash. Because effectively what happens in most cars, and this is actually where SUVs and pickup trucks and cars with a larger frontal area like those, effectively with their hood further off the ground, those are actually safer in these accidents because they are much less likely to go underneath the vehicle. Because what will normally happen, obviously, if you're catching a lorry, if you catch a lorry and hit it at the back, you are obviously going faster than that lorry at that point. Therefore, you will go underneath. If you've got a regular car, basically, or particularly an older car, you will just go underneath it. And well, do I really need to spell it out? The bit of the car where the windscreen is, where it goes up, where you are in the driver's seat, where your passengers are in their passenger seats. I mean, it's kind of chop. I don't really need to spell that out anymore, do I? It is quite brutal, to say the least. If you've seen the accident pictures, which I have, of these incidents, you can't unsee them. Do not recommend. No, it's quite brutal, so no wonder there are so many fatal accidents when it comes to this. But why? Let's get to the root cause here. Why is the technology failing? Well, to understand the problem, the National Highways teamed up with the road safety experts from across Europe, including the crash test body Euro NCAP. They're the safety rating people, basically. If your car's got a safety rating, it is a Euro NCAP safety rating. They also teamed up with Sweden's Transport Authority and Germany's largest motoring organisation, ADAC. And between them all, they ran some tests. And essentially what they found is that the effectiveness of the emergency brake was all down to the shape of the trailer. Newer versions of ADAS on crash prevention were more effective, so the technology is becoming better. But some of the older ones, worryingly, didn't even detect there was a lorry in front of them just because of the shape of the trailer. And they ran the same test with a little difference to the truck trailer. They put some rear underrun protection bars, and if you've never heard of those, I'll try and find a picture of them. But essentially what it does is prevent a car from going underneath the trailer in the event of an accident. It's basically like a blocking point to stop the car going underneath. So if it does hit it at speed, it will just bounce back, which is much safer in the event of an accident, and it would save a lot of people's lives. But the bars weren't perfect. In some of the tests they actually run here, they did still go underneath. The vehicle still went underneath. So they need some work to be improved. But incredibly, they've been using these since the 1970s in the United States, but for whatever reason, they've never caught on. They have never caught on and been popular here in the UK, here in Europe, here and anywhere. And it's really horrible to think how many lives have been lost because those bars weren't there. Yes, they are not perfect, but with 50 years of innovation behind them, I think they would have got them right by now, to be honest. But in terms of actually finding out the reason why the safety technology didn't recognize the trailer was there, I think it's just because it's such an unusual shape. Because you have to realize it's basically like a radar system. It uses a kind of waves and stuff to detect whether something's there, a camera to detect if something's there. And trailers are particularly odd shapes. They don't look like vehicles. Yeah, the lorries do, but they're a long way ahead. If you've got an empty trailer, which I think is the main problem here, if you've got an empty trailer, then that's the one that very much struggles to get seen. A lot of them as well are kind of like metallic shaped as well. A lot of them are like metallic coloured and silver, which isn't a million miles away from the colour of the road. If you're in the UK as well, it's not a million miles away from the colour of the sky, usually because it's cloudy. So I think more research needs to be done, more development needs to be done on those bars, and get them on the lorries as soon as possible. You could save dozens, hundreds of lives every year. There is no excuse for not pressing on with this. It seems like a relatively easy fix, especially while the technology, for now at least, for the most part, is not effective all the time. But your thoughts in the comments below, guys. Is this the most dangerous type of accident on the motorway? Looking at the stats, it definitely is. But it's also seeming like one that is relatively preventable as well. Get your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, comment, subscribe as always, and we'll see you soon for much more content here on the motoringchronicle.com, guys. And stay safe out there. Those lorries, they're a real problem if you go and run up too close to them. Give them space. Whether they're behind you or in front of you, give them space. You won't regret it. You will regret giving them not enough space, though, potentially.